There's this one thing that your brain absolutely despises, and it's change. And unfortunately, the only thing that we can never escape is change. If you're feeling really overwhelmed or anxious about something that's coming up in your life, maybe you're starting a new job or going to a party, stick around, because in this video, we are going to be breaking down why your brain hates change and how you can trick it so that you can feel more confident and happier when things are shifting and evolving around you. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a positive psychologist, and it is my goal to help you live a happier and more fulfilling life through evidence-based psychology. So if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button. So first of all, let's go ahead and talk about why your brain hates change. One reason is that change affects our sense of control. We like to think of ourselves as being in control of our lives, but even just like small changes, like if someone changes where they sit, or what they eat, or their routine, even if it seems like a really small change, that can trigger a part of our brain that is called the amygdala, and it will start to release these stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which will increase your heart rate and make you feel more physical symptoms of anxiety. That's because our brain is trying to protect us. It sees change as potentially dangerous, so it's preparing us to fight or flight, to run from the situation, or freeze and hope I didn't notice it. So change triggers this kind of survival response in us because our brain doesn't know whether the change is going to be positive or negative until we experience it. So it just defaults to thinking that it's threatening, and it starts to get us ready to cope with the threat. The second reason why your brain might hate change is that it triggers a part of our brain called the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of the brain that does future planning. So when things are uncertain, it's hard for this part of the brain to plan. And so it starts to make you ruminate and worry about all the different outcomes that could happen. Now, the third reason is that change affects our identity. So when things are uncertain and we don't know who we are or how to act or what to do, it can really throw us off. It can affect our sense of self. And especially if we've been doing the same thing over and over again, like if you've been working at the same job for 10 years and then all of a sudden you have to switch jobs, that's going to affect your sense of identity. You're no longer going to be the person that works at that company. You're going to have to figure out a new identity. And sometimes that can be really difficult. The fourth reason is that change creates uncertainty, and our brains don't like uncertainty. In fact, there's a lot of studies that show that humans actually have a harder time tolerating uncertainty than they do pain. So if you're facing some kind of change that is uncertain, you might be experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety because of that. Finally, the last reason why your brain might hate change is that it affects our ability to predict. Our brains like to know what's coming next. And so when things are uncertain, when there is change, it makes it hard for our brain to know what's going to happen next. And that can make us feel really uncomfortable. So now that we've identified some of the reasons why your brain might hate change, let's move into how you can trick your brain so that you can feel more at ease when things are shifting. The first step is to acknowledge the change. If you're trying to push it away and pretend like it's not happening, that's only going to make your brain freak out more because it's going to think that there's something wrong and you should be paying attention to it. So instead, acknowledge it. Sit with it, process it, and understand that it's okay to feel how you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel nervous. Allow yourself to feel excited. Whatever emotions come up, just know that it's okay to feel them. Step number 2 is to gain clarity. If you're feeling really overwhelmed or anxious about something that's coming up in your life, maybe you're starting a new job or going to a party, spend some time before the event or the change happens to prepare yourself. Think about what you want to wear, what you want to bring, what you want to say. Just spending some time planning can help your brain feel more at ease because it's able to get a little bit more certainty about what's going to happen. So, for example, if you're starting a new job, spend some time beforehand figuring out what you're going to wear on the first day, what you're going to bring, how you're going to get there, who you're going to meet. Just spending some time visualizing and planning can help your brain feel more at ease. Step number 3 is to focus on what you can control. When we're faced with change, it's easy to start feeling like everything is spinning out of control. So take some time to write down what you can control and what you can't control. This is a classic exercise that's used in cognitive behavioral therapy. They call it an exposure exercise. And it can be really helpful when you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious. So, for example, if you're starting a new job, you can write down the things that you can control, like what you're going to wear or what questions you're going to ask. And then you can write down the things that you can't control, like how other people react or how much work you're given. Once you've got those two lists, spend some time focusing on the things that you can control. Try to let go of the things that you can't control. This can be really difficult, but it can be helpful to remind yourself that you can't control everything, and that's okay. You're only human. Step number 4 is to build in rewards. When we're faced with change, it's easy to start feeling really overwhelmed or anxious. So make sure to build in some rewards throughout the process. For example, if you're starting a new job, reward yourself by taking yourself out to dinner afterwards or getting yourself a nice present. Just having something to look forward to can make the process feel less daunting. Step number 5 is to practice mindfulness. When we're faced with change, it's easy to start ruminating about the past or worrying about the future. So make sure to practice mindfulness. Focus on the present moment. You can do this through meditation, through yoga, through spending time in nature. Whatever you do, just make sure that you're taking some time to focus on the present moment and to let go of the things that you can't control. So to recap, when your brain hates change, it's important to acknowledge the change, gain clarity, focus on what you can control, build in rewards, and practice mindfulness. These are 5 simple steps that can help you feel more at ease when things are shifting. Now, we would love to hear from you. What are some ways that you cope when you're facing change? And what has worked well for you in the past? Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified when I post new videos. And as always, thanks for watching.